Hello, this is Bridget Rao with Divine Essentials. Alright guys, so it's been a little bit since I've done one of these back and forth type of pulley thingies. So we'll see what's going on with the masculine's confessions and divine feminine's confessions. And we're going to start off with divine feminine and see what she has to say. Even if I do find someone else, I'll always care for you. So divine feminine could be, looking for somebody new, or she could have found somebody new. Or she could just be thinking like, you know what, like if you never come back, obviously there's going to be a time where I move on. And if that ever happens, I'll still care for you. But I just, feel like this is kind of letting him know that even if I do find someone else, I still care about you. And then he says, I'm afraid to open up fully in love. So that could be the problem here, is that this person's just afraid to open up fully in love with you. And so that could be pushing you away from them because they're not giving to you. They're not opening up. They're just kind of doing whatever they're doing and being with whoever they're being with. And she says, I've turned down so many great people because it wouldn't be fair to them. I'm in love with you. So, she's probably turned down a lot of offers because she's been in love with this masculine. But maybe at some point she feels like she's going to have to stop turning these people down and give to somebody new because he's not opening up fully in love. Or maybe she's hoping he will open up fully in love so that she doesn't have to, settle with somebody that she might feel isn't going to give to her the type of feelings that he felt or she felt with him. And it says, it was love at first sight and my first true love. Nobody can take that away from us. So I feel like this, masculine saying, even if you do find somebody new, or even if I do find somebody new, nobody's going to take away the fact that this was love at first sight, or that it was like the first time I've truly loved somebody. Even though I've been fully, not fully opening up with you, I do have, this deep love for you that I haven't felt before. So she says, do you feel an ounce of the pain and sadness I do, or is this easy for you? I need to know so I can let go. So she, again, has this sense of like wanting to let go. If he's not going to be opening up, if he's not feeling this pain, if it's not bothering him at all that she's going through what she's going through, then she wants to know so she can let go and she can go find somebody that does care, that is ready to open up and give to her. Even though it's been this, a magical thing that's happened between the two of them, I feel like she is kind of at this place of being like, you know what? Maybe it's time for me to move on. Maybe it's time for me to find somebody else that's going to, give back on that same level. And he says, you're better off without me for now. So he may be feeling that from her, that she's, wondering like, do you even care? So I feel like he does care, but he's like, you just deserve better than what I'm giving to you, because he knows that what he's giving to her isn't enough. He's not opening up fully. He's not giving to her the love that she deserves. There's other people out there who are trying to give to her that love that she deserves. And so he's like, you're better off without me for now. And she says, I thought things were going good. Why did you just disappear? So there was probably a time where things were just going good between the two of you. You thought things were going to be going in the right direction. And all of a sudden this person just disappeared. And it's like, what the hell? Why did you disappear? Where did you go? Why did you just disappear? Like, just ghost off and go off and do whatever you did. And he says, I'm truly in love with every piece of you. So he is in love with you, and he has a lot of love to give to you, I feel, but there's just something that blocks him from actually giving it. He's like in love with every piece of you, but I don't think he really has a reason as to why he just disappears on you. And then she says, you shaped my life. Everything would be so different hadn't we met. So there's a lot of things that the feminine is doing now at this time that she probably wouldn't be doing if she hadn't met this masculine. Or she could be feeling like where her life is headed wouldn't be headed in that direction hadn't she met this man. And he says, I want to be vulnerable with you. I'm just afraid you won't believe me. So because he's been so held back, he's been so guarded up until this point, he's never been vulnerable with her. He feels like if he were to actually open up and be vulnerable, that she's not going to believe him. That she's going to be like, what the hell is this? Is this just a joke? Are you just pretending? Are you lying to me? Are you going to, are you doing this just to get me in bed? Are you doing this just to see what I say? So he's nervous about being vulnerable because he's never been vulnerable with her. And she says, I'm afraid to let you in fully because I've been hurt so much already. So there's a little bit of mirroring here. She's been probably hurt because of him ghosting and him, just disappearing when things were going good. She's probably been hurt in other relationships. And so now she's at a point of being afraid to let him in fully. So where he's like, I'm afraid to be vulnerable because I don't think you're going to believe me. She's afraid to open up and even let him be vulnerable because he hasn't been, and because she's been hurt so much up until this point, and she doesn't know if he's feeling any of this pain. So let's see what else he has to say. I know when you are upset with me, and it bothers me more than you could possibly know. So, you may be upset with your masculine right now. You could be at a breaking point right now. You could be like, this is too much for me. I can't keep doing this. Like, I deserve love. And he probably can feel it, and he's letting you know that it does bother him that you're at this point. And she says, I've considered changing everything for you. So she's considered changing everything, whether it's been physical, emotional, spiritual, mental, whatever it's needed to be that would change his, perspective here, or change the way he shows up in this connection. She's considered doing it. She's like, maybe if I do this, maybe if I do that, maybe if I do this, things will work out with us. And that's not a good thing, but it's the truth. So I feel like sometimes we can consider changing ourselves to, appease someone else because we care about them so much. But I feel like that's the wrong decision to make, because you can't truly change who you are at your core. Eventually, your truth will come to the surface. So try not to change yourself for anybody, and stay true to who you are so that you don't end up having worse problems down the road. And he says, you're my other half. I know that you are. You left a piece of you in my heart and I within yours. So he feels like you guys are two halves of the same whole. It's like that twin flame thing where, both a part of each other. And I think that he can feel that you're in his heart and he's in yours. And she says, I will love you for the rest of my life. So no matter what happens here, whether she finds someone else, he finds someone else, they come back together or not, she's going to love him for the rest of her life. There's just no doubt about it to her that she will always care about him. And he says, I despise others giving you the attention I know I should. My pride stands in the way. So you could have attention right now from other people, or you could be, considering opening up to that attention from other people, and they don't necessarily like that. They're like, I don't want you getting that attention elsewhere. I want to be the one giving you that attention, but my pride is standing in the way from actually giving it to you. So they need to figure that out. And then she says, I know I messed up by chasing you. I'll leave you alone. So she's done chasing, she's done, trying to get his attention, she's done messaging, she's done calling, she's done pursuing this at all. If he wants her, he knows where she is, and that's basically where she's at it. She's like, I'll just leave you alone, because in the beginning I messed up by chasing after you, you ran, and now, where we're at, I'm just going to let you decide what you want to do with me. And he says, your body is my weakness and your eyes see into my soul. So she can see into his soul. She can see his truth. She can, get him to be in that vulnerable energy. Her body is his weakness. He's like very sexually attracted to her. And I feel like he's just drawn to her in a way that he hasn't been before. And she says, I'm literally unable to feel attraction towards anyone but you. Even the famous people I used to gush over do nothing for me. I'm truly in love with you. So it's hard for her to find attraction in other people. She's not finding like these people that she used to be gushing over as attractive as she used to. She's not finding new people attractive to her as she used to. But I do feel like that may be kind of shifting for some of you with this other energies coming through. You may be starting to open up to the possibility of having somebody new, or you could be starting to find people attractive again. I can't remember, something happened recently and my thought was, wow, he's good looking. And I was like, wow, it's been a long time since I've had that thought about a guy. So you could be starting to shift those energies, if it's been long enough that you haven't been with a guy, or if it's been long enough that you've been dealing with this back and forth bullshit, you might start to notice men again. And then he says, you are an incredible person inside and out. So he does see you as a good person. He sees you as being a very, noble, attractive, good person inside and out. And she says, I wish I knew why you always pull away so I could prevent it. So she's like, what the hell do I do? What the hell triggers you, dude? Like, what's your freaking problem? Why is it that you're fine until you're not? You know, what is it that freaks you out so much that you just decide to go, ah, and run away? You know, because if we can figure that out, we can prevent it from happening. And he says, every song I hear reminds me of you. It doesn't matter where I am or who I'm with. You always come to mind when I hear certain lyrics. So he's hearing certain songs, certain lyrics, certain, you know, parts of these songs, certain, you know, la 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 is reminding him of her. And I think that is something that they maybe communicate with each other. Maybe there's songs that you guys have listened to together, or just songs that speak, you know, the messages of your connection. And she says, you trigger me so badly, I feel like a psycho. So she feels psycho. She feels crazy. She feels like, what the fuck? What is wrong with me? Why does this bother me so much? Or why am I letting this person treat me this way? Or why am I doing this whole thing? Or why does this keep going on? You know, she's getting a little psycho. And he says, I have so many fantasies to play out with you. When can we begin? So he wants to get freaky-dicky. And he wants to know when you can begin doing it, but she's probably going to be like, well, when do you want to show up and stick around to do it? Because it takes two to tango, and you have to be there to tango. So he wants to get freaky-deaky. And she says, it's over before it begins with you. So it's kind of like what I was just saying. It's like, well, if you want to get freaky-deaky, you got fantasies you want to play out, then you got to stick around for more than 2 minutes. You got to come in. You got to stick around. You got to figure out what's triggering you and stop letting it trigger you so we can do what it's going to do here, because it's over before it even frickin' begins with you. And he says, I've been trying to get advice on what to do with our connection, but nobody understands it. So, you know, he's tried. He's like, what the fuck is this? You know, I don't think he has like a twin flame counselor, but whoever he's asking about is like, dude, I don't know. That's not normal. Just forget about it, you know? And unless you're in it, you won't ever understand it, because you can't just forget about it. It just keeps coming back at you, keeps getting you, keeps poking at you. And she says, I'm afraid to wish you a happy anything because I never know if you'll respond. So, you know, when it's his birthday, she's afraid to say happy birthday. When it's his, you know, Christmas, or when it's New Year's, or whenever it's whatever, she's like, should I or shouldn't I? Should I or shouldn't I? Because last time I did, he didn't say anything back. But he, you know, said thank you to every other person that did. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes you can get a little freaked out because you never know if you're going to get the answer or not. So she's basically afraid to just communicate with this masculine at this point because she doesn't know if he's going to answer her. And I'm committed to improving myself. You inspire me to grow and heal. So he is trying to heal. He is trying to grow. He's committed to improving himself, which is a good thing, which is a sign of a twin flame journey. Usually both people get better over time. And she says, I feel physically uncomfortable when I know you're not okay. So she can tell when he's not good. She knows when something's up, when he's not feeling his best, when he's not okay mentally, emotionally, physically. She can feel it. And she hates it. She does not like that feeling because it makes her feel all like, and she just can't be calm herself. And he says, I will always love you no matter what happens. So no matter what happens here, he will always love you. He will always care about you. And, you know, it doesn't matter if you find someone else and move on. It doesn't matter if, you know, you guys come back together and then break up and fight and do whatever. He will always love you no matter what happens. And she says, you make me feel so insecure about my body, life, home, soul, just everything. So even though he's like, I'll love you no matter what, it's like she feels insecure about herself. That's why she's considered changing everything. She thinks that there's something wrong with what she has to offer him because of his ghosting or disappearing. It's like, there must be something wrong with me if he just disappears on me and doesn't tell me what the problem is. And he says, I talk to you through lyrics of songs. So I feel like there may be some more messages that you need to hear. Whatever song pops into your mind, whatever lyrics pop into your mind, pay attention, because I feel like he's going to help you with these insecurities and help you with anything that's been left unsaid here in these messages. All right, guys. So both of these decks are available on my Etsy. Use the code DIVINE, D-I-V-I-N-E, all capital, to save $5 at your checkout. And there is free shipping for you in the U.S. Alrighty, in Munay, namaste.